Hello everybody and welcome to the very first episode of a very new podcast called We Have No Cares, which is a podcast about Heart of Midlothian Football Club.
Indeed.
Are you excited to be here?
Absolutely ecstatic. Can't wait to begin.
That excited gentleman you hear is Mr. Robert Borthwick.
Good evening to you all.
And I am Nicol. We're going to tell you no things about us because we are entirely unspecial.
Yeah, yes we are. In fact, just forget you've even heard our names.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you go whichever way. Listen to your heart on that one. Maybe you want to remember us. No, forget us. No. Forget all about it. Interesting advice. Marketing, not Robert's strong suit. We are just two Hearts fans. We are neither in the know nor dyed in the wool. Nor we're just two guys.
Yeah, basically just two blokes who like Hearts.
Yeah, and as such, as people who like Hearts, we're delighted to have a team to support this season. I think that's the biggest thing to get out of the gate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so much has happened in the last year or so. Terrible things surrounding the club. It's lovely to have a nice long-haired manager who can see us through everything.
A nice, beautiful long-haired manager.
And he just has the best array of suits. He's coming up trumps there.
I think he might have the most swag of any Hearts manager we've ever had.
It's certainly a very in word. Yes, he's ream, some might even say. I'd say so. Since the high days of Paulo Sergio, we haven't seen such stature in a manager. And he's also got a wonderful face.
Actually, now that I consider it, I think Eduardo Malofiev might actually have had more swag, if not fashion sense or awareness of what country he was in.
No.
But he certainly was confident.
He had it all. He had it all. He had a patchy history and a terrible management record with Hearts.
With Hearts, yes. Brilliant everywhere else.
Absolutely outstanding, yes, as a national team coach and club manager. So.
Yeah, we certainly did not see the best of him. But those days are gone now because we own the club now, technically, sort of in a bit soon.
Kind of in 5 years or so when loads of payments are made. Yeah.
That's what capitalism's based on. We bought it on tick, so it's ours legally.
We own the damn club.
Which, yeah, it certainly is nice. It's certainly been a weird few years, ups and downs. But I think I can honestly say I've absolutely enjoyed our tumultuous relegation nightmare.
Yeah, I think, even just the last decade since Vladimir poked his lovely head up over the surface and said, I'm going to buy this damn club. Even since then, everything is, you could never describe it as boring to be a Hearts fan. I think it's, no other club can, they can all say, we've got a lovely balance sheet. Well, that's great. We've got an absolute fucking mentalist of an owner. So
that's great, St Johnstone. But have you ever been sitting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, sort of thinking, oh my God, I've got no idea who's got to be the right back tomorrow because he might just be flown in by helicopter and be an octopus. I just don't know. Yeah. I just don't know.
Take that, Ross County.
But onwards and upwards, we are now the proud owners, sort of, nearly a bit of our own club, sort of nearly, almost.
Yeah.
And we've been playing games of football, including, I believe there was a game at the weekend, Robert. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, I believe we fisted Rangers. I think that's what happened.
I think, yes, you're quoting directly from the BBC online report there. But yes, we administered a dry fist straight up the brand new anus of Glasgow Rangers Football Club. I think this might actually be the first time that particular version of the Rangers has been fisted quite so dryly.
Yes, it was a last minute fisting, which I felt was the best way to go about it. We discussed it actually in midweek when you said you'd maybe prefer a nice easy ride all the way through the game.
Excellent choice of verb there.
Yeah, going for it. But I think the last minute option was always going to be the most enjoyable for the fans, and it gives a nice boost to the players as well. So God bless Osman Sow.
And all who sail in him. Osman Sow is in the running. I mean, this is the quickest I've ever loved a Hearts player, except possibly for Mauricio Pinilla.
Yes, yeah. That was totally unfounded though on any sort of playing ability. It was just because he was quite handsome and wore a headband.
And was mental and shagged his national team captain's wife.
He did all of those things. I don't think Osman's done any of that, but there's still time for the lad. He's only 24.
Yeah, he's young, he's growing. We've got a great chance to develop him here at Hearts, and hopefully we can set him on his career of being a batshit insane striker.
But at least they'll get to hit the bar in the World Cup and get a terrible tattoo about it.
If history is any sort of source of record here, yes,
I would say it is
100% accurate. So, talking through that, I mean, going to Ibrox. Well, it was weird. I was weirdly confident because we'd all seen Rangers run around and look very upset with themselves against Hibernian and only just almost sort of beat them.
Yes.
We were playing the Rangers and we rocked up to Ibrox Park and all the pageantry was going on. There was actually, to give Rangers their credit, and actually quite well judged tribute to Sandy Jardine as they opened the stand. They actually managed to do that with some dignity, which is fair play to them. And then their team took the pitch and all dignity kind of dissolved.
Well, yes, that's fair to say. Big elbows McCulloch unfurling that wonderful League One flag.
Such pride was emanating from all around the ground.
What a bloody honour. They only spent £30 million to do it.
Money well spent.
Business plan.
And then, well, yes, they did start knocking the ball around, and to be fair, they probably were very slightly better than Hearts for the first 20 minutes. I kind of felt that we were slightly overawed by the stadium. There's a few guys playing there for the first time, a few guys who maybe haven't played in front of that sort of crowd before, and so they were, I mean, I don't want to say dominating the game, because they didn't really actually do that much with the ball when they had it. They just had a lot of the ball.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was a couple of defensive slip-ups, Jordan McGee and Ali Mozturk, giving the ball away. Neil Alexander did very well in the first instance with the dodgy back pass from McGee, and then I just like to think that Ozturk did that on purpose, just to show how good he is in recovery. That's what I'm going to stick to, and you can't stop me.
Are you Ali Mozturk's agent?
No, I just love him.
Well, that's absolutely fair. But yeah, there was a lot of last-ditch defending on display in the first 20 minutes, and like you say, I slightly wish we didn't have to see it, but when we did see it, it was pretty excellent, actually.
Yeah, I think it showed quite well that there was pace throughout the team. That's what Robbie's been saying quite a lot, and he's absolutely spot on. Wilson, Ozturk, McHattie, McGee, Patterson when he comes back. It's a back line with pace and strength. It's good to see, but I wish we didn't have to see it quite as often, especially in the first 20 minutes of a game. But after that, the team started to sort of impose themselves a bit more. The defence looked a bit more assured, and particularly Morgado Gomez and Prince Boabin. Prince
Boabin.
Oh my God. Yeah.
They started getting on the ball and making passes and doing that wonderful thing that professional midfielders do, of seeing an opposition player with the ball and just sort of sidling up to him and going, "Excuse me, I think I'll take that from here."
Do excuse me, I believe that's mine.
and all of a sudden it was.
Yeah.
And that was a magnificent sight to behold. And if you join us for this podcast again, this might be a recurring theme, but it made me think about all the times last season where I saw Jamie Hamill in that position and how he just didn't do any of those things at all, ever. And it made me want to rip out my own ribcage to have something to beat myself unconscious with. He
was absolutely fantastic. Give him his due at being fat and angry. He was... Those are just really skills quite good at that.
You just can't teach that.
Yeah, that's the problem with that. That's it. That's what he brings to any team. So Kilmarnock, good luck with that.
The first 5 yards of fat and angriness is in your head.
That's it. The burst of angriness, if you will, over 10 yards.
There's no one angrier over 10 yards than Jamie Hamill.
Absolutely not. Derek Adams will be testament to that, as he's still picking himself up off the floor of Tynecastle. He brought a lot of angriness, but I think it's nice that we've gone away from that arsehole attitude and brought in Prince and Gomez, who seem like genuinely nice chaps as well as good footballers.
We've replaced anger with professional footballers, like of a class far above where we find ourselves at the moment. But that seems to be kind of a recurring theme with our new signings. Osman Sow, as we mentioned, is just a glorious human being.
Yep, he is. He's not got a neck, but we won't hold that against him.
Zero neck.
Absolutely no neck there.
If anyone knows the whereabouts of Osman Sow's neck, please, we're all very concerned. But his touch, his pace, his reading of the game, and some of his link-up play, In the first half, we were treated to a series of passes on the edge of in and around the box, sort of left-hand side, between Carrick and King, which ended up with the ball sort of going across Billy King and Billy King sort of falling down under the attentions of the Rangers defence.
Yeah.
I frankly wanted to leap onto the pitch and propose to every single man in a maroon shirt, because they just transported me to a magnificent place.
Well, I think, again, the sort of continued work with the ball that Robbie Nielsen's been talking about in training is really, it's coming off for us. I think, So has shown that he can link up with pretty much any attacking player that we have, be it Gary Oliver in pre-season, Dale Carrick in the more competitive games, and then you've got Billy King, Sam Nicholson on the other side, who is very comfortable giving the ball to and receiving it back. It's really quite lovely to see the attacking options that we have with everyone really that we've got on the books. Jamie Walker, Dave Smith still to come back into it as well. Two very good wingers. Mm-hmm. James Keating, Soufiane El Hasnaoui, all these guys still to come into it as well. I mean,
all of these are names of Hearts players.
Yep, and they are. They're all attacking Hearts players. I was being specific on that part of it, but
didn't ever deny it.
Yep, okay.
And then half time came, and in the first half, like we say, Rangers have had some moments, but largely this was down to Lee Wallace being their best outlet on the pitch, I think it's fair to say. Yep. Oh, and also, do you remember when David Templeton didn't score a goal?
That was great. I liked it when he went to score a goal and then missed.
He really tried hard to score that goal.
He really fucking missed as well. I mean, he definitely missed.
He failed almost completely. No, in fact, completely. 100% failure.
With an open goal, no less.
He scored 0% of a goal with that attempt on goal.
That's absolutely right. That was a highlight, I must say.
But my original point. So, what's his name? Lee Wallace.
There he is.
I recognise him from somewhere. Many years of dignified service to Heart of Midlothian. That's where I recognise him from.
Absolutely.
He was their main outlet in the first half. His sort of pace and directness causes a lot of troubles. And then at half time, Robbie Nielsen, who I may remind you was managing his second ever senior game of football.
Yep, number 2. Yep.
The second one, mm-hmm. First one being a cup game against Annan Athletic.
Yes.
So this really was basically his first proper game of football in charge.
Yeah.
Made the tactical changes which almost completely nullified Lee Wallace in the second half and gave us a very, very solid platform to whether anything Rangers tried to do.
It was one, as you say, slight tactical change by Robbie, whereby he switched 2 players, and Ali McCoist for pretty much the entire rest of the game didn't know what to do, and that gave us the scope to go forward with Lee Wallace penned back slightly.
How certain can we be that Ali McCoist noticed?
How certain can we be that Ali McCoist knows how to dress himself in the morning? I just like the level of consistency that Ali McCoist brings to it, though. Consistently getting outwitted by anyone and anything.
By anyone with wits.
Yep.
I can't wait until he plays John McGlynn later in the season. That will be a feast.
Good God. But yes, no, we had a good little bit of pressure.
No.
Yes, no.
Yes, no.
Had a good little bit of pressure. Sammy Nicholson winning the corner. Billy King striding to the corner flag, drifting a ball in, and Rangers basically had an absolute clusterfuck in the middle where they didn't have a clue who was marking who. Danny Wilson got the run on Lee Wallace and face fucked it into the back of the net.
That's the technical term, I believe, from all the coaching manuals. That's what they teach in Troon.
Largs.
That's it.
Yeah.
All the facts here on We Have No Cares. All of the facts.
Yeah, we know it all.
But yeah, Danny Wilson. I mean, I know that I know from watching it and being there that he jumped, but really every element of his body language seems to suggest a man sort of going, yes, that's a goal.
Yes, it's slightly effortless. There was a substitution made just before, I believe, Kyle Hutton coming on for Ian Black. Neither of whom mark anyone at corners. Doesn't make one jot of a difference. I don't know why they were so bloody confused. But
well, especially because that happened about 10 minutes before the goal.
No, the goal was on 52 minutes.
Was that right?
Yes, that is absolutely correct. I watched the highlights about 72 times in the last few days.
That's much more research than I've done.
Yep.
Can you tell?
I can. I can. But it's one of those things. It's a tactic we've got. put someone on the back post who then drifts in front of their marker, and it's worked now. Callum Patterson's goal against Annan as well, it was exactly the same move, exactly the same corner.
For a moment I thought your tactic there was convince the opposition to make an unnecessary change in midfield and then capitalise.
That's just how bloody good Nielsen is.
He is bloody good, I would believe it.
Yeah, he is.
So after that, Rangers tried to turn it on, but even though I was nervous just as somebody who's been a goal up at Ibrox in the past, I don't think Rangers really started to threaten until about the last 10 minutes, to be fair.
No, they were probing away, but playing Lewis McLeod out wide when he's really a central midfielder and he's probably their best midfield player, he wasn't getting any luck, he wasn't getting any joy out of McHattie, who was fantastic, really a marked improvement on last year, along with a lot of players like Wilson, for example. He wasn't getting any joy, basically, and it wasn't really until we really started defending inside our own net, essentially, as they came forward, that they really, got their chances. That
defending inside our own net did give us a couple of memorable moments. Just like I have now seen Chris Boyd fail to score from 2 yards, and that was because we came out on top of a Stramash.
Yes. A bloody good Stramash it was too. And Zaliukas involved in a similar, slightly further out, maybe 7 yard Stramash as well.
Yeah. But Gallagher sort of gathering it on the second attempt.
Yes, indeed.
A word about our defence. I mean, you mentioned there how much more solid Kevin McHattie was in this game. Just the defence as a whole. I mean, I think we would all, in our heart of hearts, we love Danny Wilson, but we would have to say last season he was maybe occasionally a little erratic.
Yes.
And if we're going to talk about any Hearts player who could be a little erratic, Brad Mackay, well, absolutely loved to sit and think about Flowers or the economic situation in South Sudan, rather than whether or not there was a striker standing near him.
Yes.
But this game, he came on. He had one pretty poor defensive header where he headed it back to Kenny Miller rather than to the goalkeeper. But after that, absolutely towering.
Yes, I absolutely love the fact, and I do like this about Brad. He absolutely can certainly say he gives 100% on the pitch. He doesn't leave anything behind. But he's brought on for Jordan McGee because McGee's on a booking. He's just put in another pretty rash challenge on Kenny Miller. Go on, Brad, keep it tight. And literally within seconds, he sticks David Templeton about 5 feet in the air and receives a booking for it. So
it's possible that Robbie put him on. So just go in there and do what Jordan was doing.
So he did exactly, quite literally that.
Brad just did a wonderful job. Like we were saying, a marked improvement on last season, and really gives Robbie something to think about for the right back spot for next week, because Callum will still not be available, and Brad really was rather magnificent.
He was. I mean, a lot of Rangers' tactic is hoofing the ball at the park, and when they have that opportunity, Wallace is quite often, he's very good in the air, Wallace. He's quite often in that position, and Brad won a couple of headers against him. He doesn't leave anything behind. He doesn't offer anything attacking wise. I'm sure he'd love to, because he once said he thinks himself as a centre forward who can score 20 goals a year, but he doesn't offer what Patterson does, but no one does. So we've got to look to really fill the gap the best we can in the intervening time. I'd like to see McGee given more of a chance, but he's not a right back, neither is Mackay. So it's I trust Robbie and his wonderful face and hair to make the decision on this one. But I'd like to see McGee given more of a chance, to be honest with you.
Speaking of somebody with a wonderful face and hair, Nicky Law scored an equaliser for Rangers shortly after he had been announced as the man of the match, and our small corner of the ground laughed ourselves sick, and the rest of the ground booed themselves sick.
Yes.
They were not pleased with that. They did not agree with the assessment of the match sponsors, who I guess just really wanted the opportunity to meet Nicky Law.
Yeah, him?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, Ozturk, who we have... Do you remember a few minutes ago we were singing the defence's praises, and Ozturk's in particular? Yeah,
are you going to mention the fact that he really quite royally messed up for their goal?
I was trying to talk around the fact that he was about 20 yards out of position.
He was about 20 yards out of position.
Yes. And didn't tell anybody else that he was going to do that, and so they sort of turned around going, oh, it's alright, Aleem's got... What?
Yes, and yeah.
And all there was Nicky Law lashing in with a plum.
Indeed.
Though that said, Gallagher did get a hand to it. Maybe could have been a stronger wrist.
I think when it's from about 5 yards out and it's literally volleyed, slightly to your right, you can't really blame the goalkeeper too much for that. I thought Gallagher, actually, after Alexander's cheekbone ended up inside his mouth. I thought Gallagher actually acquitted himself very well. Quite safe from cross balls and all that kind of stuff. I don't think you can blame him for that. It was a good strike from Big Bald Nicky.
Now, Rob, you're not a doctor, is that correct?
You would be fair in your assessment.
Right, but even as, in your sort of like, layman's medical opinion, is it good to have your cheekbone inside your head?
I would say not. It's not meant to be on that position, just on your face.
Right, I'm going to make a note of that for the next time somebody asks me where I want my cheekbones to be.
Yes.
Because I do believe it's going to take about 3 weeks at the very least for Neil Alexander?
Yes,
that's his name.
That is his name.
Wow, that's a
former Scotland international. There you go.
Current Hearts goalkeeper,
yes.
Neil Alexander. It's going to take about 3 weeks for his cheek to no longer be on the inside of his face.
Yeah.
But he's a goalkeeper. I think he can come back and wear a face mask.
Absolutely.
So yes, the goalkeeper went down, and that was slightly concerning. Almost as concerning as when that Rangers equaliser went in. And we all just made a big sigh and went, oh yes, this is what it's like to be back at Ibrox. We played quite well, and then they bully their way up their pitch. They have a few wee niggly fouls, which the referee seemed to have been, consulting his navel for while it happened. And, we know how this ends. But we didn't know how it ends.
No, I think the most refreshing thing to see from the Hearts players when that happened was the distinct and almost merciless lack of fucks given when they basically just took kick-off and smashed up the park. Really jogged through the entire Rangers team.
Yeah, Sammy Nicholson in particular just sort of, no. Osman, you take it. Osman going, no. I think we'll just do stroke. And then I was going, yes! For many, many minutes.
Many minutes. That was essentially the game plan from there on in. I think Nielsen might have actually described it to them in those exact words that we just used.
I have gone to the tactical school at Troon. That may have been my first mistake.
Ah yes, the Troon school.
The Troon school. That was quite a good game. Now, all I hope for is that the next game is just as enjoyable.
What's the next game?
I believe we're playing one of the smaller teams in our division. As much as we're talking about what a great adventure this is, we have actually been relegated, so we'll have to, invite some of the smaller clubs in the country.
I welcome that. I'm going to embrace the culture of seeing the smaller teams and going to these grounds and stuff like that, and them coming to us. I think it would be great. I mean, who is it we're playing?
It's actually a team that have come from quite close to us. They're called Hibernian.
Who?
Hibernian.
No, I'm not getting that.
No.
Oh
wait, it's Hibernian Football Club. It's our eternal rivals who live always in our shadow that we defeat on an incredibly regular basis.
You dog.
You know what? I'm going to kick myself for this.
What?
The 19th of May 2012, we actually beat them 5-1 in the Scottish Cup final. How could I forget about that?
Christ almighty. Yeah, I do remember that now.
Well, hopefully we can win another one on Sunday. And
yes.
I believe we will. We looked quite competent against Rangers, but with a lot of scope to improve.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Hibernian's joint top goal scorer is their goalkeeper, which is an interesting fact.
Yes, it certainly is. I don't know. We've discussed this many times out with the internet as we're discussing it right now. I just think, Hibs are a stronger outfit than they were last year. Granted, so are we. But they'll be a different animal this year. I still hope for a victory, of course, but I never go in, thinking it's going to be so fucking easy as it has been in the past.
Well, what we will say, to be fair to Hibs, they have replaced their manager.
Yes.
They have replaced their executive.
Yes.
They have signed some better players than they had last season.
Yes.
And they appear to have a much stronger game plan than they did under Terry Butcher.
Yes.
But all of those people that have signed have signed for Hibernian Football Club.
God, you're right.
You see?
You're right.
There's the one consistent factor there that you cannot escape.
I'd made the mistake of thinking of individuals and not the club.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Those people are all now employees of Hibernian Football Club, and they will be infected with the same fetid terribleness that has ransacked every single person that's walked through that stadium.
But at least they've got a lovely strip. Yeah. they've not got much going for them, but you know they never have. So what's the difference?
No, yeah, it's situation normal. So yes, I'm really rather looking forward to rattling them stupid.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. But as I say, I'm still going to stay on the fence because I always have done, and you know it's a solid tactic that seems to have worked 9 times out of 10. So there we go.
Bully for you, Rob. To wrap up this week's episode, we're going to tell you one little thing about me and Rob. We bloody love a song.
We do. You may have heard some of ours sung indeed on the terraces.
Maybe.
Well, maybe.
If you stand near us on the terraces.
Yes.
But we want to make it a mission this season to make sure that every single one of Hearts' fine players is suitably recognised in song.
Yeah.
So every week we're going to pick a player, and both of us are going to construct a song for that player.
Yep.
And we're going to see who comes up with the best one.
Okay.
So this week we chose the queer man of the match from the game at Ibrox, the wonderful Prince Boabin.
Oh, the wonderful, yes. The sweet prince.
I don't think we really said enough about him during the game roundup, but he really was absolutely fucking dynamite.
He was absolutely everywhere, both defensively and he could have nicked a goal at the end as well. He was absolutely fantastic.
Would you like to kick us off? You have a Prince Boabin chant?
I do. So yeah, I'm just gonna fucking fire out with this.
Okay.
Prince Boabin, Hibernian are nothing to be scared of.
Very solid.
Yeah.
I like that very much.
Yeah. I feel that one has some scope because it's got dance moves as well.
Yes, that's true. I would love to see the whole crowds with what are these parts of your arms called?
Forearms. There we go.
Forearms. I am terrific at remembering words. Forearms aloft, stripes across the nose.
Yeah.
Utterly confusing everybody with our gender identities.
Yes, indeed. Can't wait for that shit.
Okay, well, I cheated with mine because I didn't limit myself to Prince Boabin.
Oh.
I had to get Morgaro in there as well.
Okay, well, no, okay, that's fine. They're our besties. That can be said.
Boabin and Gomez play great together. They decal over every other midfield. Boabin and Gomez make Hibs and Rangers look like they're putting out the under-12s. Boabin and Gomez. Ba 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 ba.
Still going. Well, Christ, I feel totally inferior now with lack of lyrics and also volume.
Yes, well, you have to have gusto, if not tunefulness.
I think you win on gusto. Gusto is yours in this round, hey.
That will be the name of my autobiography. Nicol Hay, winning on gusto.
Winning on consistently.
So I think that kind of wraps it up for this week, unless you have anything else you want to say about the wonderful world of Heart of Midlothian. Robert?
Well, all I'd like to say is Stevie Crawford.
Yes.
No, that's all I want to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
This has been a pilot episode, a bit of an experiment, so we may be bad, we may be not.
Indeed.
But if you did like this, if there's anything you particularly enjoyed, or if there's anything you particularly want to say to us, or any abuse that you particularly want to hurl our way, you can find me on Twitter at Nicol Hay, Nicolhay.
And you can find myself at RF Borthwick. That's RFBORTHWICK.
Excellently spelt there, Robert.
Thank you very much.
Flawless.
It is my name.
We like Hearts, bye.
Yep.